Anyway, we move on. Getting ready to be thunderstruck for the second time this weekend. It's a cracking race yesterday for the Edmondson Electrical Classic Thunder Saloons and the BARC Power Blue Oval Saloons for all the Fords. Malcolm Harding won the Blue Oval Saloon splits, and we caught up with some of the drivers ahead of this event.
Right, here we are in BARC for almost time actually for the second Boston Thunder Saloon race. Let's just grab a Colin voice. Colin.
Give the big boys a bit of a go then, didn't I?
You certainly did. A lot of love as well for this car, I have to say.
Oh yeah. I've just, after qualifying, you know, the red lights come on. I only done 4 laps and they brought me in and said the race is over. So we come in, me and another couple of chaps, and off they went again for another 6 laps.
Ah, okay.
But the chap in the other circuit pressed the red light button for this circuit as well.
Oh, okay, right. A little bit of confusion there then, huh?
I wasn't that BMW. He thought he was going to climb all over me, so he was so determined. Little old Escort, 4-cylinder against that big old 6-cylinder. I'll give him some stick.
And of course, Colin, race 2,
yeah.
More of the same, yeah?
Well, it all depends if my heart keeps up with it.
You said it, you said it. That's the talk. It's always great to see you, always great to have a chat. All right.
One day you've got to have a go at this. What you said.
I did say that. Do you know what? I've spoken to a lot of people. I seem to be collecting drives this weekend. It's great. Cheers, Colin.
See you then. Good luck.
Thank you. There you go. It looks like I've got to drive in this car. Maybe next time you see it, it might be me driving it. It is almost time for the race. I'm going to hand over to your commentator, Dave Goddard.
Thanks, Ian. Getting ready for a rolling start then for our second Thunder and Blue Oval race of the weekend. It should be Jason Davies in his Sapphire Cosworth, yesterday's winner in pole position. The result of yesterday's race setting the grid for this one. Jason West in his BMW. We've already seen him out with the Kumho BMWs. Will be alongside him. And at the back of the grid, watch for fireworks from Andy Wilson, number 97, the Monaro. He qualified on pole in the Holden Monaro yesterday, but didn't start the race, so he starts from the back. Also, good to see Nick Vaughan the Prawn as he's known, in his Audi A3 is back out. His clutch exploded at the start of yesterday's race. He was frantically trying to source a replacement. He's done so, and he's on the grid. Jason Davies and Jason West on the front of the grid. Andy Robinson in his Ford Falcon V8 supercar is on the second row. Here we go with 15 minutes of racing. We get underway. What a lineup. Just look at them. Here we go. Watch for the power of Andy Robinson's Ford Falcon V8 supercar. Just call him Paul Radicic as he goes through into the lead on the inside. Jason West's BMW up there. Jason Davies bogged down slightly in the Sapphire Cosworth with the giant rear spoiler. And then it's the charge of the Castrol Escorts. Colin Boyce in the Mark 1 version. He's in Thunder Saloons. Malcolm Harding, he's the leading Blue Oval runner. And he's up there right in the middle of the Thunder Saloons. Brian Bransom's BMW in there as well. Jason West has taken the lead in his repaired BMW after some contact in the BMW race earlier on. There's so many awesome cars down this line, there isn't a chance to go through all of them. We've got Andy Wilson coming through from the back in the Holden Monaro. Mike Manning in the Texaco Sierra Cosworth in there, you can see as well. Look at the way Malcolm Harding's going up there, going past all the Thunder Saloons. He's going for second overall here in the Mark II Zac Speed Escorts. Had a win here last weekend on this circuit with the modified Ford series. He's up to second ahead of Andy Robinson. Here comes Jason Davies. Look out. Oh, he's tagged. Oh, my goodness me. Over goes Malcolm Harding. Straight back on his wheels. Thankfully, he's escaped without too much damage there. That was a potentially disastrous moment. Malcolm Harding is almost certainly going to be out of the race. Thankfully, that car has landed the right way up. Let's hope he's okay. Well, Jason Davies, I think, has come through to the front of the field. Wow. Let's have a look. No, Jason West is still leading. I apologise. Davies is second. Robinson is in third place. Sorry for the slight confusion. We'll try and get a replay of that moment if we can. A spectacular incident at Club Corners. Neil Hargrave nearly loses the Sierra there. Let's have a look again. Jason Davies just charged down the inside, hits Robinson into Harding. Over goes the Escorts. A spectacular accident, but thankfully not a huge amount of damage resulting. Let's hope Malcolm Harding's all right. Colin Boyce had his race spoiled there as well. He was caught up. I think Malcolm Harding has, amazingly, he's rejoined. Safety car is out though. Yeah, that was a bit over-optimistic there by Jason Davies. He hit the side of Andy Robinson's Ford Falcon and sent that into Malcolm Harding, and the bulk of those two big Fords flipped Malcolm Harding's Escort over. By that bit of front end damage, you wouldn't know that's been on its roof, would you? He just literally bounced slightly up. Malcolm Harding, I don't think he even knows he went over there. He was straight back on the throttle and straight back in the race. Incredible. Safety car is out. I assume because of that incident. I don't think anything else has happened. It gives us a chance to take stock of a few things. Let's have a look where Andy Wilson's up behind Paul Eaton in the classic Holden Commodore, the two Holdens together. So he's up to 12th place. Malcolm Harding, that is cool as a cucumber. Is he coming into the pits or is he keeping going? No, he's keeping going. He doesn't care. Car's got 4 wheels. Just a bit of bodywork damage, no mechanical damage. He's keeping going. Let's see if we can see that again. And just how lucky Malcolm Harding was. See this while the safety car was out. Now Jason Davies in the Sierra up the inside. He hits Robinson. Harding was turning back from the outside. 3 into 1 didn't go. The bulk of the other cars pushes Harding over. But Malcolm Harding barely blinks, and aside the loss of a headlamp and a bit of bodywork damage, barely anything wrong with the car, and he's kept it going. Extraordinary. Jason West then is your leader, ahead of Jason Davies. Andy Robinson. It's Neil Hargrave. There he is, still going. Neil Hargrave's 4th in the Thunder Saloon Sierra, and Fraser Huntley, the Scotsman, all the way from Aberdeenshire, in his Nissan Primera, based on a Super Touring car, that one, but now with a very modified engine, is in 5th. There's the Team Prawn Racing Audi A3 of Nick Vaughan. He managed to find a clutch for that car overnight after the clutch exploded at the start of yesterday's race. He's one of the ambassadors for Club Racing UK. Good to see him back out. Okay then, getting ready for a restart. There's first time he gets a good look at Mike Manning's Texaco Sierra there. Beautiful car, that one. So we're back underway. West from Davies. Now Hargrave in 3rd place as they crossed the line. Did Neil Hargrave jump the start slightly there? I think he took Andy Robinson before they crossed the line. We'll have to see about that. Jason West, minus his bumper after that contact in the BMW race earlier on, leads the way. It's a lightweight BMW M3 now. Jason Davies in 2nd. And Malcolm Harding's already making his way back up the order. There's Brian Branson. So he's had problems somewhere as well, because he was up at the front. It's all happening in Thunder Saloons. And now who's leading the Blue Oval split? Now it's Mike Manning in the Texaco Sierra Cosworth, the Eggenberger team lookalike. He's leading the Blue Oval series. Okay, pulls for breath. West leads. Davies 2nd. It's the battle of the giant rear wings out in front. Jason Davies, yesterday's winner in the Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. Good to have him back out. Neil Hargrave 3rd, and there is the Matt Neal lookalike Janspeed Primera. He's got ahead of Andy Robinson in the Aussie V8 supercar. There's retro touring car tribute everywhere you look this week. Not least Mike Manning. Famous Texaco colours made famous in the 80s by the Eggenberger team. Steve Soper was their lead driver, but through goes Colin Boyce, recovering that very rapid Mark 1 Escort. He's in the historic Thunder Saloon class. Here come your leaders, West and Davies. Blue Oval Saloon's led by Manning. 2nd Blue Ovaler is Martin Reynolds, the reigning champion of the number 27 Escorts. And 3rd is James Dunkley in his red Fiesta XR2 as Jason Davies takes the lead down the Hanger Straight. The Cosworth gets ahead. And they've gone clear of Neil Hargrave, used to race a Mark II Escort, now in the Thunder Saloon Sierra, which was owned by Piers Grange, who we saw out in his Mustang earlier on. Multiple Blue Oval champion as well. Neil Hargrave, I remember winning his first ever race at Linden Hill a few years ago. He'd only done track days until then. He's up in 3rd. Huntley and Robinson next. The leaders over the line together. Mike Manning is 6th. He's leading the Blue Ovalers. Behind him, Colin Boyce. Then it's Ryan Steele in his extremely modified Citroen Saxo. I'm not sure what he's got under the bonnet of that little pocket rocket, but he's absolutely flying back in the pack. Ian Craig behind him. We saw his son Ross out in the Pre-03s earlier. Just listen to the rumble of Andy Robinson's Ford Falcon V8 supercar. Sounds like an aircraft taking off. The Aussies don't do things by halves when it comes to motor racing. And I think Robinson might have a problem. He started to drop back, and look who's got ahead of him. Andy Wilson from the back of the grid is up into 5th position in the big Monaro. Well, if those two V8s are running together, no wonder it sounded like an aircraft taking off. Davies still leads from West. Drivers are loving this. Davies swings it in to club corner, chased by the bumperless BMW of Jason West. And there is Andy Wilson in the big Valvoline Holden Monaro, the car that qualified on pole yesterday, failed to start, so he's had to come through from the back. That Primera's going well too. I think I read somewhere that's now got a Honda engine under the bonnet. Where's Malcolm Harding up to in the order now? Let's have a look down the timing screen. He's up to 19th. Chased by Brian Branson, who's recovering in his BMW. Mike Manning leads the Blue Oval splits. There's a Honda of AJ Owen as well. The former pre-03 multiple champion, trying Classic Thunder this year. It doesn't get much more thunderous than that V8 supercar. Got the historic equivalent further back in the pack as well, in the hands of Paul Eaton. Andy Wilson now goes 3rd. Now, how's he lapping compared to our leaders? And about the same pace as Davies and West. Let's see if he can catch them. An awesome Sierra Thunder Saloon of Neil Argrave behind him. Such a classic shape for fans of Thunder Saloons in the 80s and 90s, I can show. Andy Wilson, who's raced special saloons over the edges, racing Toyota Starlet special saloon, among others. And the leaders into some lappery now. They're coming up on Michael Rudge with his Mark II Fiesta XR2. There's James Wall on his debut in the XJS. We've got a glimpse of Colin Claxton's new Escort Mark II as well. So many stunning cars, we haven't managed to mention all of them, sadly. One that has pulled in to retire, sadly, Tom Abbott with his new Sapphire Cosworth in the Martini livery of the Ford Rally team. Really stunning looking car that one is, but it's out of the race, unfortunately. There's James Wall in Tom Lenthal's XJS. He goes a lap down to Jason Davies. And there's Craig Owen, father of AJ, in the Sierra. This is the Blue Oval battle. He's got former Blue Oval champion Chris Brown with his newly rebuilt Fiesta XR2. That's got a nearly 300 horsepower Duratec engine under the bonnet. Behind him, I think that's Rob Taylor's Ford Fiesta ST. Yes, it is. They're about to be lapped by our race leader. There's West in the background. The gap is 3.7 seconds now between these two. There's 4.5 minutes of the race to go. Andy Wilson now up into 3rd position. Let's see if he can catch these two. His last lap was a 109.3. The leader was a 109.2. West did a 110.6. So I reckon Andy Wilson could get 2nd here. There's Andy Robinson. He's got back ahead of Fraser Huntley in the Nissan Primera. The Matt Neal Team Dynamics look-alike. Craig Owen waves Jason West through to lap him. There's Wilson. That massive Holden. As I said yesterday, it's not until you stand next to an Aussie supercar, young Goral, you realise just how big they are. That is an enormous car, Monaro. Great drive by the man from Doncaster. Last to 3rd, he could still get 2nd yet if he can catch Jason West. So far, just the one retirement. That's Tom Abbott's Martini Sierra. There's one of the Super Touring cars, Rob Salisbury in the ex-Paula Cook Honda. Now in the works Honda colours of the mid-90s. He goes a lap down. There's Malcolm Harding, still going. Where's he got up to after he's 17th? 2nd in his class behind Martin Reynolds in the Blue Ovals. Blue Ovals led overall by Mike Manning, who's in Class S for cars on slicks. There he is. Beautiful Texaco Sierra. Mike Manning, 45 years of racing driving. He's raced everything over the years. Began his career in motocross. He loses out there to Nick Vaughan in the Audi A3 Special. He's up into the top 10 now, and there's Colin Claxton, that gorgeous Marlboro Escort. Great to see Nick Vaughan out there. Somebody clearly answered his appeal for a clutch overnight for that car. Vaughan the Prawn, as he's known. And he's got some supporters on our YouTube. Black and white flag being shown. Who's that for? 177 Fraser Huntley with a warning there. Simon Collier has retired the Vauxhall Tigra space frame into the pits. Simon, the ex-Bangor racer from up in Staffordshire. Used to race for the Barton Boys Bangor team at Hinsford Hills Raceway. He's out of it, sadly. Our leader, we haven't forgotten about Jason Davies. He's lapped Clive Hainsford in the RX-7 engine Mazda RX-8 rotary car. Sadly struggling a bit this weekend with the long straights. No shame for Clive. Racing since the 70s. There he is. Very down on power this weekend, unfortunately, the Mazda. Malcolm Harding still battling on in his battle-scarred Escort. I cannot believe how lightly that car has escaped. Oh, Nick Vaughan slowing down again. Well, at least he got out there for the race. He'll try and limp it to the finish, I'm sure. About to be lapped by our leader. He was in the top 10. There is the leader, there's the Audi. What a shame for Nick Vaughan, he was going so well. And he come through from the back. Jason Davies is heading for a Classic Thunder double. There's Andy Wilson, the ex-British GT Holden Monaro in third place behind Jason West. Less than 30 seconds on the clock now. Will it be checkered flag this time? I think we might get one more lap out of this. Jason Davies laps one of the BMWs there. That's Clint Chalmers in the Schnitzer lookalike. Will it be checkered flag this time? No, it is last lap. 3 seconds too early, the race leader there. So we will get one more lap out of this. Jason Davies. An awesome Sapphire Cosworth. Looks more like a time attack car than a race car. That big spoiler. Fantastic field. Full credit again to the Classic Touring Car Racing Club for assembling such impressive grids. There's the Paul Eaton Holden Commodore. Great to have the classic Aussie V8 out there as well. Through Stowe for the final time goes Jason Davies, surviving that collision with Andy Robinson early on. Blue Oval split is going to be won by Mike Manning, so it's going to be a Ford Sierra double. Davies around Club Corner for the final time. This extraordinary looking Sierra Cosworth comes in to take the victory. Checkered flag, win goes to Davies. Jason West comes over in second, just over 3 seconds down at the flag. Completing the podium will be Andy Wilson, a fine drive from the back of the grid. Neil Hargrave, I think, will take fourth in the Sierra Thunder Saloon. Then it will be Andy Robinson in the Falcon. He comes through. Sixth behind him, we will see Fraser Huntley. There is the Nissan Primera. That was originally a 1993 touring car built by the Janspeed team. Then became a show car in Matt Neal's colours, hence the livery there. He comes over in sixth. No, not sixth, seventh. He was passed on the line there by Colin Voice in the Escort. Eighth goes to Ian Craig in the BMW CSL. Ninth AJO in Thomas Civic. But Ryan Steele in the Saxo rounds out the top 10. I think we may have lost Mike Manning. Now, that'll have implications. Yes, Martin Reynolds has won the Blue Oval split. Malcolm Harding takes it home. There's Mike Manning. He's had a problem on the last lap. He's finished, but he's lost the Blue Oval win to Martin Reynolds. And Malcolm Harding has just finished third in the Blue Oval Saloon Series and second in class. 14th having got upside down. Extraordinary. There's Martin Reynolds in the Ukraine flag-liveried Escort. He's won the Blue Oval Split. Bad luck to Mike Manning in the Texaco Cosworth. Had an issue on the last lap and dropped down about half a dozen places. But he's lost the Blue Oval win as well. And there is Malcolm Harding. What can you say? Here's the result then. Jason Davies, the winner by 3 seconds ahead of Jason West, and a fine drive by Andy Wilson to come through to win his class and complete the podium ahead of Neil Hargrave and Andy Robinson. Colin Boyce wins his class in 6th, as does Fraser Huntley in 7th. Other class winners, and the overall Blue Oval win goes to Martin Reynolds, snatching it from Mike Manning on the last lap. Manning wins his class though. Other class winners, well, I was going to say Paul Eaton in Class H1, but he pulled into the pits on the last lap, so that may not be classified. Class D of the Blue Ovalers goes to James Dunkley. The invitation class to Rob Salisbury's Honda Accord Super Tourer. And the only car in the Classic Thunder Slicks category was Simon Collier, and he failed to finish. Just a couple of retirements in that one. We lost Nick Vaughan towards the end, of course. James Wall pulled the XJS into the pits as well. And we lost Tom Abbott, Sierra and Simon Collier. More Caterham action next then, but we'll shortly head down to Parc Fermé to hear from some of our Thunder Saloon and Blue Oval racers.
Well, I think that race pretty much had everything in it, didn't it? But once again, Jason Davies picking up a win just like he did yesterday too. He's got a big smile on his face, you can see that, can't you? And he's got that massive wing on the back to quite incredible stuff. We're going to grab a word of him very, very shortly. We'll just wait for a number of the other cars to come in as well. They do make a nice sight, don't they? Look, as they come across. There's our good friend Colin Boyce over there as well. There he goes, look. Through he goes, that's Colin Boyce. We know him very, very well. In fact, we spoke to him this weekend too. And look at the Primera, look at the Nissan Primera just coming across. If you can see it, Huntley there, look at that, fantastic. Oh my word, what a sight, what a treat it really has been here at Silverstone. I can see our good friend AJ Owen coming down as well in the Honda. So not too long to go, we'll grab a quick word. Do stay with us, hope you've enjoyed the coverage so far. It's been an absolute blinding weekend with the classic touring cars, hasn't it? This is the Boss and Thunder. Hear them roaring, roar. They certainly do indeed. I think now we can jump in with Jason. Jason, bit of deja vu actually, isn't it really this?
It is, yeah. Luckily though, this race was, well, from my point of view anyway, it was a lot more plain sailing than yesterday. We had some issues with the car yesterday, but we sorted them overnight. Massive thanks to my dad, he worked away hard. And yeah, the car's spot on today, so yeah, absolutely brilliant.
It's that big wing at the back, isn't it? That doesn't.
It's the big wing. It's all about the wing.
It's all about the wing. Great way to start the season. Congratulations.
Thank you very
really
much.
Happy for you. Jason Davies there. We've got Martin Reynolds actually as well. We've got Malcolm Harding too. Shall we? Now, if you watch the coverage, you might have seen Malcolm Harding. He rolled the car and carried on. So quite exciting stuff indeed. We're not going to be able to have a word of him, unfortunately, and it's almost time for the next race. So I'm going to have to hand back to Dave Goddard, your commentator, to take you through the action.